Shirley Walter's vision of Crow in 1968 was coming to fruition. All of the things that we've been doing throughout the years, caring for wildlife, educating future wildlife caregivers, all moving forward. Future planning underway. New enclosures, new facilities for our student housing, the turtle enclosure about to be renovated, all of these things moving forward to expand Crow's reach, not only in education, but also for patient care. 2022 had moved along smoothly until late September when we realized there was a storm coming.
We prepare for hurricane season every year. We have a whole disaster plan that we put into place, and we go over it with the team and the students that are going to be here during hurricane season every year at the start of season. And unfortunately, we did have to put it into practice in September for Hurricane Ian.
The morning of the storm, we realized the seriousness of Hurricane Ian and expedited the evacuation process. The team was amazing, pulling together to evacuate everyone to safety.
So once we knew that the storm was on its way and we knew it was going to make landfall somewhere along the west coast of Florida, about 5 days out, we started prepping, started putting together care packages for all the animals that we were going to be transferring off-site and out to different facilities.
We're very lucky that we partner with community partners that allow us to utilize hotel space in the event that we need to evacuate off of Sanibel because it is a barrier island. So we typically evacuate into the Fort Myers area for the duration of the storm. And once we realized that we were unable to access the island for a certain period of time, we had to switch gears and switch our plans for providing care for the wildlife in Southwest Florida. We continued to provide care for the animals we still had at the hotel, but we started to coordinate with partners at the Conservancy in Naples as well as South Florida Wildlife Center to transfer out all of our current patients. So all of our stable patients were transferred out for continued care at that point. The student program was temporarily suspended and staff continued care for the patients that were coming in on a daily basis. We were obviously not receiving patients through the hospital, but we were working very closely with our partners, Blue Pearl Pet Hospital in Fort Myers. And then we would go to Blue Pearl twice daily and do triage of those animals.
With evacuation, we'd planned to be able to return no later than Sunday after the storm. When we realized that the Causeway Islands had been washed away, we had to jump to a secondary plan of how to get back on the island. Thanks to our partners with the Mosquito Control District, we were able to access the island on Friday, realizing that our buildings were still standing and the damage was not as extensive as it could have been, yet still Hurricane Ian had taken its toll on the Crow campus. Our visitor education center, our dormitory, our hospital all sustained minimal damages. Unfortunately, our enclosures saw the worst. Our new enclosures that were built in 2022 fared well. However, 6 of our enclosures that were built by our volunteers, our crowbars years before, did not fare so well and will need to be completely replaced.
So once the storm had passed and we realized we weren't going to be able to get back on the island to the caging anytime soon, we started looking at transferring out all of our patients and ambassadors. Some of them did go to permanent housing. Billy went to the Central Florida Zoo and he's loving his life there. He has a very nice enclosure and they all love him. Mina and Talon went to Seaside Seabird Sanctuary up in St. Pete and they are being housed there temporarily, so we do have the ability to get them back once our cages are rebuilt.
Once we realized that we were going to be unable to use the facility on Sanibel for an extended period of time, we had to search for a long-range plan in terms of how do we continue to provide care for patients outside of a hotel setting. So we started looking around the county and talking to other community partners And thankfully, our friends at Animal Refuge Center, or ARC, stepped up to the plate and graciously donated the use of their campus in North Fort Myers.
We currently have all the departments of the hospital combined instead of having separate people for ICU, for rehab, and for babies. We're currently working out of 2 unoccupied buildings at ARC, and so one of them is for more of the critical patients and the other is for more of the babies and non-critical patients. But all of us are working together really well as a team and going in between both of the buildings.
The space that we're currently in, we're very, very grateful for because we are able to still do the same level of care that we were able to do before. However, we're pretty much limited to doing intensive care patients and very young orphans. Once our patients get to the point where they need to do the outside enclosure rehab phase of their care, we don't have the facilities currently to provide that. And so until we're able to rebuild all of those enclosures on campus, we are going to be in a position where we have to transfer out all of our patients once they get to a certain stage of their recovery.
The board of directors, the staff, our volunteers are all dedicated to the future of Crow. It's a little uncertain right now, but we know that no matter what, we will be here. We will take care of the wildlife, and we will make sure that Crow continues for another 55+ years.
I'm Paul Ben-Susan, the president of the Board of Crow. Although Hurricane Ian was devastating for all of us, it has provided Crow with an opportunity to grow for the future. Your contributions have provided a solid base for us to look to the future to grow our wildlife rescues, our wildlife rehabilitation, and the future generation of wildlife veterinarians.
We can't do it without you. Tell your friends, spread Crow's mission. Whether it's your time, your talent, or treasure, we need you for the future of Crow.